you my very first millionaire student. Uh, so that's their picture there, and Jess and Apple have done a lot of deals over what 3 or 4 years now, and this is the Bangkal property that they have in Bulacan, and then they have bought and sold several properties in Maya Alta, in Antipolo, and that has become sort of their favorite place to buy and sell houses. And then they have a proper they sold this 5 unit townhome in Quezon City. But I'd like to interview them with regard to this deal. This is probably their best deal to date. So, Apple, tell us more about this deal.
Hi Trace. Yes, the deal is in Maya Alta, Antipolo City. So the buyers basically from a previous inquiry, so they inquired for a previous deal of ours, which was already sold. So we sensed that they were hot buyers, so we looked for a property for them. And so the good thing was we had a good relationship with the homeowners association, and we always ask them of the available properties in the area and all. And so we they pointed us to this one particular house and lot. The seller was in the province, but the key of the house was with them. So we immediately showed the property to the buyer. At first, we talked to the seller and negotiated the price and all, but already had no closing at the price. And then we showed the property to the buyer, and they immediately liked the property. And we offered the property to them at 1.5 million. The market value of that particular property is about 1.8 to 2 million. But in the condition that we gave them at a low price, in the condition that they will be the one to renovate and to fix the property, since they will have it back finance as well. So we asked them an earnest money of 50,000 just to tie the deal. And so after that, we went back to the seller and had an option to purchase agreement with him, and offered him also a 50K earnest money. So basically, what the earnest money what we got from the buyer, we gave it to the seller. So no money down from us on our
Nice,
part.
nice.
Yes. Yes, and the seller and we closed the property at
With
900,000.
the seller
So we
first.
basically, yes, with the seller, and then we sold it to the buyer at 1.5
Uh-huh.
M. So the challenge was the our seller doesn't want a bank financing. He wants it cash. That's why he agreed to the 900K
Uh-huh.
price. But the buyer will do it with bank
Right.
financing. So uh, there came that the idea that we need an investor. So we asked, if you can remember, we asked help
Right.
from you if you know of an investor, and then you referred this particular investor, and that's it. The money that we got from the investor, we gave it to the seller. So we were able to get all the documents that we need for the bank financing. So that's it. So the loan of the buyer was released, and the good thing was they were able to loan it for 1.6
Mm.
million, and our agreed price was only 1.5 million,
Right.
right? So they have an extra
100,000.
100K.
Okay.
So yes. So the buyer was very
Mm-hmm.
happy. The investor was happy because he was able to get her money back in about 1.5
Nice, nice.
months. The seller was happy as
Uh-huh.
well. He was able to sold his property for cash. And of course, we were happy because no money down, no efforts
Right.
or expenses on the renovation because the buyer did it. And so we had basically we had a net in after all the expenses of 400,000 in just 1.5 months.
Nice, nice. So you made 400,000 pesos in just 1.5 months, and there's no the earnest money that that you put with the seller came from the buyer, and
Yes. Yeah.
and the money that came to buy the house. Well, you had to buy the house cash. You need to close on it, but that came from an
Yes.
investor. So the investor is happy.
Yes.
She got paid a lot sooner than she thought, right? Which she then reinvested, right?
Yes,
If
yes.
you were telling me before we did the recording, she then reinvested the money now into another
The
deal
money.
that you guys have, which is
Yes.
excellent. So you establish good relationship with that investor. So now she will invest in your deals over and over again, and great, you know. So what have you learned from this deal, Jesse? You want to say a few words on, like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, if you know the market very well, I think this is the key. We're we're studying the market for after maybe 6 months. We study. We've gone through for after three properties. We finished three properties, and we know how to spot the property.
mm-hmm,
And when you know that the deal is very hot and the deal is uh, very at low bargain price, you can really take take advantage of this opportunity. I think deal is everywhere,
mm-hmm,
Trace. That's what I believe. Are everywhere, and you have to have this network, especially with the homeowners association.
mm-hmm.
Uh, this is the key.
Right, right,
I know this is the key, and if you have established good relationship with these people, they will give you good deals, uh, and money is always there. That's what I believe, especially if you have a good
right,
deal, and not always traditional financing that you can have. You can have investors, you can have people you know, especially if you have a mentor like Trace Trajano. It can give you a lot of investors, really. You must have find a mentor. For me, you have to find a mentor who can not only support and give you advice, but to really close a deal. So I think the key point here is, yeah, we will not close a deal if we don't have investor,
right,
and Trace helps us a lot in finding this investor, and he knows many people. He has good connections. He has been in the business for so long, I think, and he established his name in the real estate world all over the world,
great,
not only in the Philippines.
great. All right, and then
Hmm.
I think the other key in this deal is
So
yeah,
another and yeah,
yeah. So
sure,
yeah,
say
I think the other key to this deal is having a hot buyer, right? Because without that hot buyer who is really like qualified and very eager to buy, then you know, so that made it a whole lot easier, because now instead of
yeah,
you looking for a buyer for a house, you're looking for a house for a buyer, and that is a whole lot easier, and because you don't have any risk, right? You don't have any holding costs. You know already
precisely.
there's a buyer lined up.
That's right.
So I think that's one of the things that scares most
Yeah,
people is, you know, if they don't have a buyer, what do they do? You know, then, well, you have to either sell the property first for another investor so that you build your own buyers database, and then look for the properties for your hot buyers, which is exactly what you did here. So, which is excellent. So, any
yeah.
other, any other thing you want to add, Jesse? I cut you off there. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, about this hot buyer. Uh, Actually, the buyer comes first. That's right. From this deal, because as Apple told you that the buyer came from the other deal that we have before. So this is a really hot buyer, and it's good that we all also establish our name in that market, that we can provide quality and very low price home for them. So they are the one who called us. So maybe if you have established yourself as good seller and good investor in that market, people will look to you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you will not call them; they will call
That's
you,
right. That's right.
and that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened to
Mm-hmm.
us. Yeah.
Great, great. So, so that's it, folks. So, definitely, Well, I'm excited because Apple will be there at the Think Rich Quick seminar, TRQ 2.0. And she will be one of the teachers talking about offline marketing. And hopefully, Jesse too will be there. So, with that, thanks Apple and Jesse for your time, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Anytime, Trace.